Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of Bone Music by Christopher Rice, performed by Lauren Ezzo. To Jackie Ben-Zekri and Eric Shaw Quinn, who helped bring Charlotte to life over a fateful last-minute lunch in Seattle. They didn't plan to kill my mother. She wasn't like the other women, the ones they stalked and captured. The ones who came to in a cold root cellar miles from where they'd been abducted, hog-tied and disoriented, their faces pressed to the dirt floor. My mother wasn't like those victims. She was an accident. A flat tire and a rainstorm conspired to place her in their path. And by the time Daniel Banning had reached through the passenger window of her Cecilia and placed his stun gun to the side of her neck, they still hadn't noticed the baby in the back seat. When they did, their choices narrowed. Leave me by the side of the road, along with all the forensic evidence that might involve, or add a 9-month-old girl to their list of victims. People have made so much of the fact that two of the most notorious serial killers in American history couldn't bring themselves to kill a baby. It blinded them to what the Bannings really did to me, which on some days seems much worse. Did I cry that night? I still don't know if my infant brain sensed their evil, sensed the wrongness in the sounds my mother made when the electricity surged through her body before she went ragdoll limp across the steering wheel. To this day, to any interviewer that will listen, Abigail insists I didn't. Daniel hung himself in prison before he went to trial. She's told 3 of her biographers I was silent and docile as she peeled me out of the car seat and shielded me from the rain with one open flap of her coat. To hear her tell it, I barely cried at all during the 7 years she and her husband groomed me to be a killer. I remember the mobile made of stars and half-moons they hung over my baby bed. I remember them carrying me across the cow pasture, pausing so I could run my hands along silky flanks and marvel at how oblivious those great beasts seemed to the touch of my tiny fingers. There were horses, too, but their long, angular heads and great huffing breaths frightened me, and I didn't feel the same affection for them as I did for the cows.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?